Tuned into the boom room, the livest show in fantasy. Yeah. Welcome to Host Walk, Igler, Beat It Fantasy League. Welcome to the boom room, had to get in tune, rocking with the best. Welcome to the boom room, had to get in tune, roster is a mess. Welcome to the boom room, had to get in tune, in it for the checks. Welcome to the boom room, had to get in tune, in it for respect. Few things to address. D5 to keep fly.
Welcome to the season premiere of the Boom Room. I'm so excited to be back, and I see you guys miss me just as much as I missed you. Now, having said that, let's get into the highlights. First up, El Cajinos versus Arizona Rein. This is a classic example of why you play the game. After nearly dropping a deuce in opening week, Cajinos came back and scored 64 points. Yeah, 64 points. Credit Arizona Rein for showing up after learning his franchise player will be out for at least 4 more weeks. Hurts, DK, that was enough to take down Cajinos. I'm going to take a second here, Cajinos. You play Keon Coleman, and it caught my attention, right? And I got to be honest about this. And this is what I mean when I say you remind me so much of me. No shots being taken right here. You think you can do no wrong. You think that you can just play whoever you want and that shit gonna work out. Remember all the years I used to say to you, I know what you're missing. I never would tell you. Now you're doing something else that I did. And this is the hint I'm gonna give you. Slow down on them curves, man. Slow down on them curves. Boom. Now on to G5 versus Machiavellians. G5 is now one of only 3 teams that's undefeated in the Beat It Fantasy Football League. Nothing is sweeter than getting a W when a player doesn't score. But we'll talk about that another time. Oh, listen. A-Chain, Goodwin, the Chargers D, they all showed up for G5. Mac had 4 players bust. That's always a recipe for disaster. Nice win, G5. We see you off to a good start. Next up, Return of the Jedi versus Body Bag. I haven't reached out to Dame yet, but he left Njoku in his lineup. And I didn't know if he was just saying, there's no other tight end worth getting. Or if he was saying, I don't need a tight end to beat this nigga, right? I don't know. I didn't reach out. To be determined. Now back to the game. Body Bag had 3 players bust and lost Justin Jefferson, who was having a monster game. Christian Kirk, Jackson, Chase Brown, they outscored Njoku by 9.9 points. I'm sorry. Once again, a recipe for disaster. Dame with the late field goal. It's good! They ain't one of the only teams undefeated. Good luck. Now on to Whooping That Ass versus Negro. Dun, 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 dun. In a much anticipated matchup, Whooping That Ass was getting a lot of hate coming out of the draft, while Negro was getting a lot of love. Unfortunately for Negro, you don't get extra points for your friends liking your team. 3 players with less than 10 points. Only 1 player with more than 20. Whooping That Ass is like the Steelers. They just find a way to win. He had a whopping 5 players score less than 10 points. Alvin Kamara went off in the performance of the year so far. Take a bow, Alvin. Or should I say, Alvin! Don't look now, but Whooping That Ass is the last of the 3 teams that's still undefeated. Next up, Jabroneez versus the higher power. In the most decorated game in our league, 8 championships between the two. Jabroneez the defending champs. However, higher power came out ready to roll. His wide receiver showed out. Debo 20, Shaheed 22, Kittle's 21, Nico 28. Needless to say, higher power was ready for the champs. Speaking of the champs, his 2 starting wide receivers only gave him 12 points, and his quarterback only 13. After 2 weeks, the champs are a surprising 0-2. Now on to the marquee matchup of the Beat It Fantasy Football League. The 2 winningest franchises, TNT, Lincoln Legends. When these 2 get together, throw the record out, it's war time. You think I'm joking? 12 players scoring at least 17 points. Kickers combining for 40. Man, James Cook set the tone on Thursday with 28. The Legends got 40 from his starting receivers. However, the story was Kyler Murray, who dropped 40. And if you don't know who he is, we call him Maserati Marv. Dropped a smooth 31. I know people was a little worried after week 1. Boom, boom, boom. I'm sorry. Listen. Shout out to the newly acquired Jordan Mason, who now makes TNT look real scary. Due to a scheduling quirk, we're going to run this back in 2 weeks. But we'll get back to that later. TNT, boom! Welcome back to the Boom Room. Y'all know what time it is. First guest of the year is already pre-written. Without further ado, the reigning, defending, 5-time champion of the Beat It Fantasy Football League, the one, the only, the Jabroneez.
It's good, man. It's good to be back on the show, man.
Hey, listen, man. Welcome back. I'm happy to see you be the first guest if it couldn't be me. Hey, listen, man. We gonna get into all that. I definitely want to start with last season. Put a book on that. But before we do anything else, gotta drink to the champ, man. Little whiskey requested. Congratulations, man. 5-time champ. Goddamn. Yeah. I mean, we ain't Shannon Sharp with the Laportier, but give you something to get you a little. All right, let's get into it, champ.
I wanted the chest.
Let me ask you this. At what point last year did you feel like you could win it?
Well, straight out the draft and shit, just like the Boom Room song and shit. But no, honestly, after the first few weeks, I saw my team was looking good, and I knew we was probably a trade away from really solidifying things.
All right, listen, I gotta ask you. You made a huge bid for Puka and Williams early last year. It definitely caught my attention. I gotta be honest. I don't know if I told you then. I thought you paid a lot. So, without giving up any of your secret sauce or anything, can you tell us what you saw there and why you jumped like that?
I mean, I do my research. I mean, it can simply come down to that. But yeah, I heard a lot of noise around Puka, so I had my eye on both of these players. I had an eye on the Rams' backfield in general. They didn't know if it was going to be Cam Akers or Tyron. So I knew, they had a great offensive coach, great quarterback. I knew once, they figured out things, who was going to get the touches. I wanted a piece of that offense. And also, shout out Peter Schrager, shit, Good Morning Football. I ain't gonna lie, he hyped Puka up and shit all season. So yeah, I get my sources. I take info from where I can.
Hey, listen, like I said, I want to congratulate you because in real time, I was a little skeptical of that move. I was like, man, he blew his whole budget right there, but.
Like Kyren, honestly, I wasn't as sure about, but Puka I knew was going to be a guy.
Okay, listen, you knocked it out the park with that one, man. That definitely was well done. Before we close the book on last year, is there anything else that you want to say about last season? Anything you got to get off your chest, or can we officially close the book on last year?
I just want to say, last season I shut out all the noise. You know what I'm saying? I proved. I already knew myself, but to the outside noise and the haters that I am a champion, a legit champion, and the greatest to do it in this league.
Hey, listen, we having a little family squabble, but You might be right. Listen, once again, congratulations, man. Well deserved, well earned, and I'm coming for you. Let's turn the page. Let's get into the season. Now that the draft is over, I'm gonna ask you about your draft first. Do you feel as good about your draft this year as you did last year?
Honestly, I feel better coming up the draft this year compared to last year. I literally got everybody I targeted, going into the draft. Last year, I was a little skeptical of some of the players I got because I was being more standard with it, not going for players I like, but players that I knew would be solid. But this year, certain receivers haven't stepped up yet, but we we're not too worried. It's still early, and I think I got a solid team.
Let me ask you this: I wouldn't be being fair if I didn't. Here's the issue that I had. I wanted to ask you about. And I'm glad you're here. Your quarterback. You went with the two rookies. I guess without giving up any of your secret sauce, was it any? Because you said these are people that you target. You got everybody you targeted. So what was your thinking there?
I mean, I can give y'all the tape. I got the chip. I mean, I like to spread my knowledge. Where I can, but. Honestly, somebody else asked me this. They said, Kev asked, he was saying, "Yo, that's kind of risky, taking two rookie quarterbacks and whatnot." And I kind of just broke it down to him, and basically, I want to say like 5 out of the last 7 years, there's been a rookie quarterback, top 7, at least top 7. So in my mind, I don't think that's really that risky compared to any other quarterback. Only 2 years where that didn't happen was the Kenny Pickett year when there was no quarterbacks.
Okay.
And then 2020, the COVID year when there was barely any tape on the college players and things like that. So I really don't think, now as a passing league, I don't think taking a rookie quarterback is as big of a risk, especially when you got two quarterbacks that can also that are also mobile. Okay,
listen. Who am I to argue? You know what I mean?
And for the record, Daniels is QB1 so far to start the season.
Okay. Let me ask you this. We're not going to get too in-depth about the draft. I'm going to ask a couple questions. If I can ask you this, who you think had the top 2 drafts, not including yourself?
Not including me.
And let's say coming out the draft, not where we at now, just coming out the draft.
Right. So, right out of the draft, I actually really liked Machiavellian's team. And I would say, of course, Tim, man. I guess I'll say Tim.
Like that, I heard it. Let me ask you this. I ain't gonna say who had the worst draft. Let's rephrase it. Like, who drafted you? Make you raise an eyebrow.
Honestly, out of all I was thinking Dame. Coming out the draft, I didn't really feel like he reached on a lot of players, and took a lot of players I wasn't really that high on. So, I would say Dame coming out of the draft.
Okay, let me ask you about this because it was a blockbuster trade made right before the draft between Body Bag and Negro. Let me give you my observations on that trade. Here's my problem with that trade. And there's no shade. I'm not trying to hate. I'm just trying to be fair down the middle. When I look at Negro's team, it doesn't look like he got an extra player. Like, his roster just looks regular. It's like, I didn't expect no top-end talent, but I don't really see the depth. I feel like, he should have one more player than everybody else. And he moves from 2 to 16. And not getting one of the top 15 players, I thought his roster will just look better than that. I feel like he's still missing a player. And on the flip end, Body Bag, he when he crashes, it's gonna be spectacular. no hate, but he has no margin for error. And now he really has to, hit on his free agents, his trades. None of his top end guys can get hurt, and he already lost the running back from Seattle, and then Jefferson gets hurt during the game. He doesn't have the depth to withstand it, but
he already looking shaky. What is that? $450 he just spent on the wire.
But no, like I said, I'm not trying to hate because like this trade kind of goes to your personality. Like Body Bag saying, "Look, I'm all in. I can go and get people on the secondary market," and I think Negro was saying, give me more bites at the apple.
Oh yeah, I think Body Bag's definitely a pit bull. Like not just the way he moves, but like he looks like one too. Like with the tight ass shirts and shit.
Listen to these tricks.
But no, he takes risks. I like Body Bag though. I feel like he can he'll maneuver, find a way to be competitive at least.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot. New question this year. I like to ask this to the guests for the first 2 or 3 weeks. Give me 5 teams you guarantee will be in the playoffs, and give me 2 teams that won't.
As of right now.
As of right now.
What's going on?
As of right now. Everything you see, I'm putting you on the spot.
5 that will and 2 that won't.
Yeah, 5 that will, 2 that won't.
That's besides me, right? Besides me.
No, you gotta put yourself in there. So you one of the 5. So give me 4 other.
So I'd say me. I would say I like T. I like T team. I'm liking. I like G5, what G5 team's done. But he's had some injuries though, some bad injuries. So I'll say me, T, Tim. I mean, there's no bias, but you. I'm saying right now, based off how we're looking, and that last team, I would probably have to put. I would say Corey. But you know how Corey is and shit.
He the Steelers. Like I don't know how he do it. He the Pittsburgh. He's Mike Tomlin. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, last spot would be either Corey or Kev. No bias.
Give me 2 that ain't making it, or that you would be shocked, surprised if they made it.
2 that I'd be shocked right now would be Ron and body bag ain't looking too good.
Now let me ask you this: one of your owners, G5, he put out a little ranking this after the draft. He rated the draft, the divisions in 1 to 12. I see y'all had a little back and forth on the smack board. Any comments on that?
I mean, he just talk out his ass. I don't know where he get these theories and concepts from, but like, yeah, I've been doing this. Like I said, I done made the playoffs. Like I said, 5, 6 out of the last 7 years or something like that. So I don't see how you can say based off my history, I'm not at least a top 6, top 5 team, and I'm coming off a chip. So yeah, there's a lot of hate for the Trinity in his heart. So you want to talk about being biased? That's the most biased list I ever seen.
Hey, listen, G5, you got an open invitation to defend yourself. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take that back. You got 2 weeks to defend yourself before I shred that shit. Boom. Hey, listen. Why don't you put the hand up for the people before you get out of here? Let them see what you know. 5-time champion.
You want to see it?
Where the 5th one at?
The 5th one getting that sized up right now. Getting that sized up is a little late, but yeah, that'll be on the way.
So are you like Thanos?
Hey man, I got the 5th Infinity Stone and shit, man. I might be unstoppable now and shit.
Hey, listen, man. Congratulations. Well deserved, well earned. You off to a little slow start this year, but we know at the end of the day, you're going to be in the mix, man. Good luck, and I wish you no injuries.
Appreciate it.
All right. Boom. Man, what an opening show to get the season started. The champ was in the building flossing on him, man. I really appreciate him. Great job, champ. Listen, before we get into the game of the week, I'm going to give you my 2 cents. And I know y'all going to be surprised. I'm about to take a shot at the commission. The marquee game in this league is 2 games. It's 2 games that everybody in this league waits for and look at the schedule at. It's when the higher power plays the Jabroneez, as we stated, the most decorated game in the league. The biggest game in the league is TNT versus Lincoln Legends. There's no way that not only one, but both of those games are done after the doubleheader. Unacceptable. Unacceptable, Mr. Commish. Listen, I know you're trying something new. We'll give you a little latitude. You can't have the Lincoln Legends and TNT done after the doubleheader. Now, with that being said, on to the game of the week. G5, body bag. Last year, it was the big cheesesteak game. I don't know if anything's being wagered. I guess they'll tell us on the smack board. But listen, G5 can take a stranglehold. No, let me rephrase that. He can put body bag in some early turmoil. This should be a good game. Can't wait to see what the wager is. And we'll talk about it next week in the Boom Room.
In it for respect, few things to address. G5 think he fly, he the Jets. Always number 1, now opposite is Seth. Put JR in body bag, I must confess. Some owners play checkers, Kajinos play chess. Me, T, and do really like Clay, Dre, and Steph. Don't do too much talking, they still wanna press. The main ones just talking, they team don't impress.